Good morning students and welcome to a new video. In the previous video we have completed the chapter His First Flight. Now the third chapter is divided into two parts and today we will begin with the second part, that is Black Aeroplane. Now this chapter by Frederick Forsyth, it reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problems. Alright, the narrator here, he is a pilot and he is eager to meet his family. Alright, because of this, what does he do? He takes the wrong decision of facing the storm instead of going back to Paris. Alright, so miraculously he manages to escape with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. Now, if we talk about the author of this chapter, he is the great Frederick Forsyth. Now, Frederick Forsyth is the #1 New York Times best-selling author of 17 novels, including The Day of the Jackal and the Odessa Files, as well as short story collections and a memoir. Now, he was a Air Force pilot and a one-time print and television reporter for the BBC. Now, 4 movies and 2 mini-series have been made from his works. Frederick Forsyth, he has also received 3 Edgar Awards, and in 2012 he was awarded the Diamond Dagger Award for his sustained excellence. Now he lives in Buckinghamshire, England. If we talk about the message that this story is trying to convey, so the first message is that in time of trouble we should be foresighted. Instead of being short-sighted, we should think of the time ahead. The pilot, the narrator here, was thinking about only meeting his family. Alright, so he decided to face the storm, and because of that he encountered a lot of problems. Another message that this story wants to convey is that courage is guided by faith. Alright, faith is very important and it is helpful in guiding the courage into the right path. So when this pilot, he was engulfed in the storm, then also he did not lose hope and he did everything possible, alright, to reach to safety. So he had faith in his abilities, and that faith in his abilities encouraged him to reach to safety. Then if we see another message that you are going to see in this story is that one should never give up, not even in adverse times. Alright, the narrator here, he did not give up when he was engulfed in that storm, but he kept on trying. So when we face difficult situation, alright, instead of giving up or instead of losing hope, we should take the difficulties by the horn. So this is the message that the story is trying to convey here.
Students, open your book to page number 37. First we'll read the few paragraphs, then I'll explain it to you. The moon was coming up in the east. Behind me, the stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone, high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088 over. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. Students, here is a picture of a big city, how it will appear at night to the narrator.
Students, I hope you are ready with your pencils. Whenever I tell you the meaning, please note it down. So we are starting from page number 37. Already we have read the paragraph and now I will explain it to you. Part 2, the black aeroplane. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and the stars were shining in the sky, in the clear sky above me. So it was the night time. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. So underline this, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. It shows that the weather was very pleasant. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. Alright, so he was flying over France and he was going back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. Alright, so right now he was flying over France and he was going back to England. Alright, and he must be going back to his family after a long time, and he was eager to meet them. And when this action is taking place, this story is taking place, it is 1:30 in the morning. I should call Paris Control soon. Alright, so because he's in a plane, so he decides to call the control tower in Paris. I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088. Here, can you hear me? I'm on my way to England. Over. So as you know, when any plane is flying over a country, alright, they have to tell the control tower that they are passing by. Alright, you know that they need a permit, and for the direction and for all the security purposes, they have to be in contact with the control tower. So he also got in contact with that control tower at Paris, and he told them that he was on his way to England. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088, over. So the control tower, it also gave the pilot the direction that you should be 12 degrees to the west if you want to go to England. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and the last fuel tank. Underline this, switched to my second and last fuel tank. Here this is showing that he did not have a full tank. Alright, he was only flying with one tank left. And turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I'll be in time for breakfast. So he's fantasizing, he's dreaming that now I will be moving because the weather was pleasant, alright, and everything was looking fine to him. So he was just fantasizing, he was just dreaming that in the morning I will be with my family and I will enjoy the English breakfast with them. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So everything was good, fine and dandy, and it seemed as if an easy flight to him.
Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds. Storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I'll take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm.
Students, here you can see the black mountains of cloud. All right, that must be in front of the narrator, and he could not go up and over them, and he could not go around them. Now let's start with the explanation. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. Now underline this, storm clouds. Alright, when he was in Paris, when he talked to that control tower, alright, everything was fine, the weather was fine, and he was dreaming that he's going to meet his family. But now he's around 150 kilometers away from Paris, and what did he see in front of him? He saw the big storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. Now when he's saying they looked like big black mountains, that means they were enormous, huge clouds. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the south, to the north or south. Now see, here he faced one problem. Alright, one thing was there. Suppose if these are the clouds here. So if he was flying like this, okay. Suppose I take one example. Suppose he is flying like this towards the clouds. So one option he had was that he could fly up and above them. But do you remember that one single fuel tank? Alright, so that was also there. One thing, he was flying from here, and if he would have done that, what did he say? That they were huge clouds, okay, black mountains. So he did not have enough time and enough fuel to go past that side. And another thing was there, that he could not go this way or this way. Again he had that fuel issue. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. Alright, so both ways if we went, he could not go this side because of the fuel, and he could not go above them because they were enormous, huge clouds. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. So a thought came to his mind that now let's go back to Paris, alright, because there are huge clouds in front of me, storm clouds in front of me, and I don't have enough fuel. So he thought that let's go back to Paris. But then again, he was not far-sighted. We can say he was a little short-sighted, and he was dreaming about meeting his family. He must be meeting his family after a very long time. So he must have wanted to meet them. So he's again thinking that, but I want to meet my family. I want to have that breakfast with them. I'll take the risk. So what did he decide? That he's going to take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Okay, so what did he decide? He did not decide to go back, not over, not by the sides. So what did he decide? He decided that he's going to go through the storm clouds. He was ready to take that risk just to meet his family. Students, I am stopping the chapter here. I will complete this chapter in the next video. But before that, I want to discuss one activity with you. This is your English portfolio activity. This activity you are going to make on with the help of A4 sheets. Alright, you are going to take 3 A4 sheets, and I recommend you that you take a light color like white or light blue or light yellow, because if you take a color like purple, nothing is visible what you have written on it. Okay, now let me explain this activity to you. On the first page, alright, you will write portfolio activity. Okay, here portfolio activity 4. Now, the title of this activity is Nelson Mandela, the South African Gandhi. As you are aware that Nelson Mandela is also known as the Gandhi of South Africa. So, on the basis of that, we are conducting this activity. And I hope you have understood. We are taking this activity from the chapter Nelson Mandela. Now, on the first page, you will also write your name and your roll number. Alright. So, portfolio activity 4, Nelson Mandela, the South African Gandhi, and name and roll number. Then, these A4 sheets that you're going to take, these sheets should be interleaved. Okay, that means one side should be ruled and the other side should be without lines. So, these sides that we are using, these sides should be ruled, and the opposite side that should be blank. So now here on the second page, alright, on the second page you will give the heading Nelson Mandela. Now what do we have to do on this page? On this page you are going to write a brief about the life of Nelson Mandela. Okay, now the word limit here is 200 to 220 words, okay, plus or minus 30 words. Now here what you are going to do, I am just giving you examples what you can write. Okay, rest depends on you what you want to write in it. For example, you are going to write about his life, like his birth, where he was born, his parents, his spouse, his children, all that. Okay, that you can find, you can write here. Then the part he played in the freedom struggle of South Africa. Then his achievements. For example, he was bestowed with the Nobel Peace Prize. Alright, all that he was the first South African black president elected by the people. Then the books he wrote. Okay, his famous quotes. For example, education is the most powerful tool, that one you can use, and there are many other which I have also put in the chapter when I have done Nelson Mandela. Then some of the quotes which other people have said about him, that how maybe he has motivated them, or how or what role he has played, all that you can write. Okay, then when he died, alright, then many dignitaries came to South Africa at that time, that also you can put in here. So that should be within 200 to 220 words. Now these are some of the examples that I am giving you, but you are not bound by these. If you want to add something, alright, you can add on your own. Now the next thing, that how you are going to write this, whether you are going to write in paragraph or whether you are going to write in some other way, that all depends on you. Alright, the presentation, the organization, that you have to decide. Okay, now it's high time that we stop giving you all the instruction and you start bringing out your creativity in front of the class. Then now on this side, suppose we have written all these things. If you need extra sheet, you can add another sheet. Now what will happen, on the opposite sheet to this, you are going to paste some pictures related to the life of Nelson Mandela. Again, that whether you want to put it in the form of a collage or whatever form you want to paste those pictures, that is also up to you and how you are going to do that. Put different pictures, take a printout or something, and then do that. Okay, so now what I want you to do is that the next activity. All right, now here on the not the next activity, the next page number 3. Now on page number 3 we are going to write about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, so see, two great leaders of the world, all right, two great leaders who helped in getting freedom for their country. Okay, so we are going to write about them. So Mahatma Gandhi you will write. Again here your word limit should be 200 to 220 words. Alright. Then again here we are going to write about his life, who has been an inspiration in his life. Okay, all that we can write, his parents, his wife, alright, all that, his profession, he was a lawyer and all those things, where he was born, everything that you can write here. Then what role did he play in the freedom struggle? Then comes the achievements, the books that he wrote, again famous quotes, his famous quotes, then some famous quotes that other people said about him. All those things can be added here. Now again I am telling you that you are not bound by these points. You can add your own points, you can change it the way you wish that you want to present. Alright, so again if you have want extra sheet, you can add extra sheet, that is up to you. Then again when you have written here on the blank sheet that is not ruled, there you are going to paste pictures of Mahatma Gandhi. Again, whether you want to form a collage, whatever you want to present it as, that is all up to you. Then these will be the things that you are going to do in here. Now I will give you the distribution of marks. So first is the organization of your ideas, that will carry 1 mark. Then data collection, all this data collection that you will do, that will have 1.5 marks. Okay, now you have the most powerful tool right now, that is your internet, and easily you can find out different websites from where you can find this information. Okay, now suppose, see here, data collection, when I'm talking about, all right, if suppose you have written 200 to 250 words about only about the childhood of Nelson Mandela or childhood of Mahatma Gandhi, so see, you are not going to get full 1.5 mark. Okay, you might get maybe half mark or something. Okay, so see how you are putting everything. Okay, the next is your presentation. How are you presenting your ideas? How are you pasting the picture? In what way are you presenting it to the evaluator? That also again is carrying 1.5 marks. Lastly is the submission, timely submission of your activity, that will carry again 1 mark. Okay, so total is your 5 marks, and the date of submission of this activity is 17th August 2020. Now this video will be out on 7th August, so you are getting enough time, you are getting 10 days to complete this activity. So find out the information and put it in the form of this activity. Then one thing, remember this, that when you have completed this activity, okay, you can click a picture of these pages, and then you can send it to your concerned subject teachers. For example, 10th A Deepika ma'am, B Shruti ma'am, C Merikuti ma'am, and 10th D you can send it to me. Okay, whichever way they accept your answer sheet or your class test, the same way you are going to send this activity also. So timely submission. So remember this timely submission. You can send it before 17th. All right. You can send it on 17th, but don't send it after 17th. And if you are sending it after 17th, then you will be losing this 1 mark. I hope I have made it clear. If you have any problem in this activity or in the chapter that we have done, alright, please feel free to contact me, call me. Alright, we are always available to solve your problems and to clear your doubts. Alright, all the best for this activity. I hope all of you get full marks. Alright, so do your best, organize your ideas, collect the data, and present your project in a very nice, neat and attractive manner. Okay, with this we come to the end of this video. I hope we'll meet the next time, and by the next time you must have completed your read your chapter till where we have done. Thank you.